that is going to be doomed, and the 17th era of Indian IT industry is going to get over. Okay, that has already come in that. You just go through that because they have analyzed the data so well. So right now here is dump your data as it is in this format. Then you started creating your transformation for that specific use case. In the case of the data warehousing, what you're doing right is first you decide what are the things that you want. I'm not sure about what, nobody is sure about what you want tomorrow, but you want it because you want to do something. So the problem is you decided I want some information. Tomorrow after doing some work, you realize that I want something more. But by the time your data warehousing has already stored the data which you don't want it. So now the takeaway is, the first thing is, this first thing is why we are doing is that we cannot ignore information to interact with the customers, and sharing the information to take the business decision is the first one. Second is the traditional way of doing the enterprise data warehouse is not going to work, and 30% of the data warehousing only is success in the world, and that has been proven by the Gartner. And in the year 2005, Gartner has already recommended that 50% of your enterprise data warehouse project is going to doom. Okay. The third is with the new technology like Hadoop, it gives you to store the data in the raw format at the cost of two things. One is without price, it's coming almost free. Second is the computing power, that is the processing power. Whatever you're doing is one CPU doing all the stuff. Now it's parallel processing. The third is, the last and the final one that you need to go away from here is, you need to start working in the data lake concept. If you think that it's a new concept, you can just go to any of the website and just start it, implementing it, data lake, if you do not want to fail your enterprise data warehouse revenues or expenses that you are spending on that. Thank you very much, Sokya.
The next topic is driving business transformation using analytics by Gandhali Samant. She is currently the senior technology analyst at Microsoft. She is Microsoft specialist in marketing, Microsoft Azure solutions, Microsoft specialist in developing Microsoft Azure solutions, and Microsoft certified solution developer Windows Doors app. Ma'am, welcome.
Okay, I have the PPT, so I'll start talking, right? Okay, so today I had a 30 minutes worth of content which I'm going to pack in 15 minutes. So let's get started for a very super fast and maybe slightly bumpy ride, but we'll get there. Okay, so okay, finally we are here. Okay, so today's topic, driving business transformation with advanced analytics. My name is Gandhali Samant. I work as a senior technology evangelist with Microsoft. It seems a little fancy title. There is nothing fancy in it though. And my Twitter is @s_Gandhali. If you have any questions which I can't take today here, feel free to contact me. Okay, so today's agenda, I think after spending 2 days at a big data conference, I don't have to tell you why data has suddenly become so important, but we'll anyways see some trends in data generation. We'll see how do we move from data to decisions to actions. We'll see where what analytics scenarios can fit into this process. We'll also see a case study that Microsoft did when we worked on using data to actually transform business. Like what I mean by transform business is solving business problems. So how do you apply your data and the insights you get from them in a process to transform your business? We'll look at that. At the end, maybe for a couple of minutes, I'm just going to go over what is Microsoft's vision in it, right? So this is just a trend, right? If you, I don't think you can see the years there, but at the very start it is 1985 and at the very end it is 2020. Just see the massive amount or the exponential way that data generation has grown. Not only that, if you see the last color here, which is a deep purple color, that's your analog data, then blue color is your digital data, and green color is everything that is connected to internet. So if you can see the trend, though the data generation is growing exponentially, the analog and digital data are almost going to go zero in few years, and all we will have is cloud connected data or internet data. Now, why is that important? Because now your data is in cloud and you combine that data with the unlimited compute power which cloud gives you, right? That's where you can actually get a lot of insights from your data. Say for example, 15 years back, the only connected things to internet were our computers. 10 years back, we started having mobiles, we started having tablets. Today, if you look, even your car's tires, even your telecom towers, they are all connected to internet. And they are sending lot of unbelievable amount of data to internet. If you see how this will, how many of you have heard term IoT? Right? So IoT is single most biggest contributor to this massive amount of data generation. Now this data obviously it needs a lot of storage, and now it gives the organization a right to demand data insight. Like, you know, your enterprise is storing so much data in their servers, on-prem, in cloud. They need that data to be used for something. That data just sitting there is of no use to anybody. If you look at, so this is like what I was talking about, the phone data or the connected car data, that is on consumer side. If you look at enterprise size also, like just the applications which were on-prem versus the applications which are SaaS, you will see the trend changing. Soon everything will be SaaS, everything will be cloud connected, and on-prem will go down. Right? So how do we move from data to decisions to actions, right? We have always had data. Say 10 or 15 years back, if you have a shopping application, what would you do? You know, anytime, like when I used to design applications, I used to ask, okay, this is what your application is going to do. These are going to be the master tables. This is going to be the different functions of your application, different processes. And the last question is, okay, what reports do you want to do, right? We always did some reporting on it. So those static reports we saw, okay, so for example, in last 2 months, I'm seeing that this product is not, okay, I have only 5 minutes. Let me just zap through it. Okay, so basically from static reports to manual processes, now we are going to interactive dashboards, then we went to predictions, and future we will be in a mode where this data will not only give us recommendation, but it will also automate the decision making process. That's where we'll go. Okay. So what are the success ingredients for this business transformation? First, start with clear vision and purpose. Second, have cultural transformation. Like a CEO decide we want to do data science. Doesn't mean anything. The employees need to feel empowered to do that stuff. They need to be trained. They need to know what data is important, right? So that cultural transformation needs to happen. You need to start small. Never start with a big data. Start small. Fail frequently and fail fast. That's the mantra. And you collect right data, right? So these are the goals that I actually had a case study which I was go through how do you do the business transformation process. Basically, the 4 steps of success if you want to do your business transformation is first, you do problem formulation, then you do data acquisition, you do data science, and you do business integration. Now, what does that mean? You start with the formulation with a clear business need, a measurable outcome. Then you go to a business-driven data collection. You do data science. And so basically data science and business collaboration needs to happen, right? You might have data scientists who are working on really cool data. They come up with a really good visualization and data insights. Now that data insight has to go back somewhere in your business. It has to relate to some business problem, right? So it has to work in collaboration. And you have to have some action coming out of your data science. And you need to be assess the impact. Like, okay, I did this data science project. I got this prediction, and I use those prediction to feedback to my business. How much is the impact? There has to be some measurable impact of what processes you are doing. So again, I think I have 2 more minutes. What are these? You know, like these are the wind turbines, and they are very, very expensive. So if they stop for even say 1 hour, you can lose millions of dollars in energy generation. So Microsoft, one team, we actually did a case study with these energy turbines, and we mapped this entire business process transformation in the context of wind turbines. Like, how are we going to get the failure rate of these wind turbines down, right? So if you see a business clear need, again, this is a business problem. You have to have a measurable outcome. Like, you can't just say, I want to reduce the failure. You have to say, I want to reduce the failure by 30%. And then you need to actually give that data to your data science team saying 30% means I need you to predict the failures at 80% precision. So that is your feedback to your data science team who is actually going to do the work. And then you actually go with the action that you will take on it. And say, for example, now I am collecting all my data from different sensors. I am measuring that data. I am creating a prediction that with this much guarantee, I can tell that this part is going to fail. If that prediction is, say, above 80%, I dispatch a team to do the maintenance of that part before the whole turbine fails. And then I see how that maintenance impact my total failover over time. That would be your entire process. So again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time. And don't worry, there is no quiz. So you don't have to answer what are inside these blocks later. It basically just goes through the entire solution building process for what we did in this particular case. Okay, let's do the case summary. Again, the business problems, you do the metric, you define the metric, you do the problem formulation, you do the usage scenarios where this will be used, you collect data, you use your historical data as well as you correct the current data which is coming from your sensors, you decide the data flow, you obviously do your data science experiment on it and predict the results. Depending on those predicted results, you go and do the maintenance and again take a feedback from that team, like how did that maintenance help, which goes back as a loop into your AI systems. And then you finally finish that and launch, right? So how do you accelerate the speed of business? Mainly, if I just want to summarize 3 principles, rather than doing reactive actions, you become proactive after this. Rather than using historical data to look through, you use that data to create predictions so that you don't have to shuffle through data. You have experiments which will go through those data and give you direct predictions. And rather than using people and processes, you go into automated decision making. You can have a system which can monitor these different parameters and take actions by itself. So again, conclusion, begin with the end in mind, have a very clear problem that you want to solve with your business. You maintain a backlog. You learn and improve the process. Like if you, whatever data you are getting, even as a result of the experimentation you are doing, it needs to go back again in the system as you train your models, right? So I think that's all I had. I actually wanted to just talk about Microsoft's vision. We have these 3 products: Cortana Intelligence Suite, a SQL Server, and Microsoft R Server, which help you do all this. If I just look at Cortana Analytics Suite, it actually gives me all the possible products that I would need to take my data and use that data in an intelligent actions. I'm not going to go into each of these services, but if you see, we have Hadoop implementations, we have Azure Data Lake. Azure is basically Microsoft Cloud. So we have what Henry P talked about, we have the Data Lake implementation there. We have Stream Analytics, which is a very close cousin of Spark, real-time stream processing. And basically, there are all the products that Microsoft gives you on cloud to help you with your business transformation. And this is just last quote from Satya. It has nothing to do with Microsoft, but it's a quote that he gave when he actually joined Microsoft. He became a CEO, which was, I believe that next decade of computing will become even more ubiquitous and intelligence will become ambient. And see the yellow words, it will be made possible by an ever-growing network of connected devices, incredible computing capacity of the cloud, and insights from big data and intelligence from machine learning. So that is going to be our future. I think we all should be ready for it. And with that, I think I'm in time. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Gandhali. I would now request Mr. Sandeep Chintakar to felicitate Mr. Madhukar Pandey. Request Dr. Gupta to felicitate Ms. Gandhali Samit, Mr. Narendra Saru, and Mr. Henry. Dr. Gupta is not here. We have the chairman, Mr. Manu here. Mr. Narendra Sahu, he is passionate about applying science to turn data into products. He's worked with Mitra, he's currently working with Hike, and he's also worked with IBM Research. Till date, he has